Everywhere where corruption shows its ugly head, we must confront it.
EFF supporters making sure the Phala Phala saga doesn't go unnoticed. Significant developments in the murder case of rapper Kani, aka Forbes, and celebrity chef Thobela Motsoane.
An incredible gesture. And we have to come to Africa.
John Kani praises Africa's impact on the world as he receives yet another award.
You see how I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful. I don't come to work with a green cut crease. I don't look like a clown when I go to work.
And Dictionary.com's word of the year is, well, you'd never guess it unless you're a TikTok fan. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
This is Eyewitness News.
The police have raided the home of Sean Mkhize, popularly known as Ma Mkhize, in the suburb of Lelusha, Durban. It's not clear yet what exactly they were looking for. SARS had recently announced they were investigating her for 37 million rands. Last week, the courts finalized the divorce between Mkhize and her husband, Subu Mpisane. It's all about Phala Phala today. The state says it intends on calling 23 witnesses during the trial of the burglary at President Cyril Ramaphosa's Phala Phala farm. Emanuela David, along with siblings Froliana and David Joseph, made a brief appearance today at the Modimolle Regional Court. The trio is accused of breaking into Ramaphosa's game farm in February 2020 and making off with $580,000 in cash. The matter was postponed to the 19th of May next year for the beginning of trial. The fallout from the Phala Phala saga is widespread. Today saw thousands of EFF supporters watching proceedings on large screens outside the Constitutional Court. That's where the party's legal team has been presenting arguments. The EFF wants the Apex Court to rule that Parliament failed to hold President Ramaphosa accountable by dismissing a report which suggested he may have breached his oath of office over the Phala Phala scandal.
So everywhere where corruption shows its ugly head, we must confront it. We must nip it on the bud. White people today don't speak about Phala Phala. This media did not make Phala Phala case a headline on Sunday papers because a corruption that is done by their favorite is not corruption.
The EFF also believes that the National Prosecuting Authority and Parliament have been protecting the president. Last month, the NPA declined to prosecute the president for failing to disclose the 2020 theft at his farm.
Ramaphosa must account like all of us. If Ramaphosa doesn't account, why should I account? I never took the highest oath, or I didn't take the number one oath. I'm not the number one citizen in this country, but I do abide by the laws of this country. Why should an ordinary person who's not a member of parliament, who's not a councillor, who's not a minister, who's not a president, why should they hold or rather, why should they be accountable to anyone if the president of this country does what they do?
The new developments in the murder case of rapper Kani Forbes and celebrity chef Thobela Motsoane. The pair was shot and killed in Durban's Florida Road in February last year.
We are working closely with the NPA to ensure that all leads are followed. More arrests are expected and no stone will be left unturned, and no one will be spared if they are found to have been involved in the two murders that shone the spotlight on our province.
This case makes up the extreme violence that we're seeing playing out in KZN today.
On violent crimes such as murder, rape, and robbery with aggravated circumstances. As the province of KwaZulu-Natal, we remain concerned that Inanda, as well as Umla's policing precincts, are still topping the list with the highest number of murders, attempted murders, as well as rape cases. A lot is being done on the ground and also at the strategic level with the aim to remedy the situation. The resident of KwaZulu-Natal can attest to the fact that the police has been hard at work and have been attaining notable successes which have brought hope to the community.
The 7 men accused of the Lusikisiki massacre returned to court today. The group is linked to the killing of 18 people shot dead at Ngubazana village in the Eastern Cape back in September. They're facing 18 murder counts linked to the mass killing, while some also face charges of being in possession of illegal firearms believed to have been used in the killing. Western Cape provincial crime stats for July to the end of September this year shows the murder rate in the province has come down by 8%. The third quarter figures show murders against women and children have increased. Police expressed concern about the high level of children killed in gang violence. There's been a decrease in contact crimes such as murder and aggravated robbery, but gender-based violence remains a concern.
We have so many structures that we're using in combating GBV. For example, we have the men's forums in all now, most of the districts, that men are taking lead to talk to men, not only young men, to men.
Maria says young boys in poor communities turn to crime because they lack a sense of belonging and good role models. Former chairperson of the Audit Committee of SAA, Yake Kwenana, has been released on bail of 20,000 rand. She appeared in the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court this morning, facing charges of fraud and contravention of the Public Finance Management Act. The charges relate to an auditing contract that was awarded to two private companies, PricewaterhouseCoopers and Nkonki Incorporated, that Kwenana had previous business dealings with, but didn't declare this to the South African Airways Board of Directors. The contract would see the companies pocket 59 million rand from SAA as a result. The case has been adjourned to January next year. The rescue mission to retrieve hundreds of illegal miners in Stilfontein isn't quite going as planned. More than a week ago, Policeman Senzo Mkunu appointed a task team to drive plans to bring Zamazamas at the old Buffelsfontein gold mine to the surface.
The focus has shifted ever so slightly to where we are now because of the resurfacing of 14 illegal miners overnight. They were arrested. Those 14 Mozambicans were arrested. Among them was a 14-year-old teen. But I thought while we wait for the story to continue developing again, it's a slow cook story, so it might take some time. But while we wait for those developments to continue, I thought I'd just paint a brief picture for you of who we're told are underground by people who are familiar with the lay of the land. Three main groups are operating underground: the Basotho nationals, Mozambican nationals, and Zimbabwean nationals. Then we have a group of South African nationals who operate independently and don't obviously fall within these categories. And most of them either hail from this particular area and quite a bit also from the Eastern Cape. Now, of these three groups, we're told that it's the Basotho nationals that yield the most power underground because they are the ones that provide the resources in the form of bulk supplies when it comes to food and water, but also in terms of arms and ammunition. We're told they're the ones that bring the big guns, and so they are the big guns. And then the Mozambican nationals and the Zimbabwean nationals, we're told they are the runners. But that's the context, very briefly, of what we understand of who is underground for the moment. Again, the more we know, the more we'll bring you. Nogukhanya Mtambo, Eyewitness News, reporting live in Stilfontein, Northwest.
Legendary writer and actor John Kani was recently honoured with the EMY Africa Lifetime Achievement Award. EMY Africa recognises and celebrates men's achievements across local industry, community, culture and public service. Kani said the award is a translation of the talent Africa holds and the potential impact it can have on the global industry.
An incredible gesture. And we have to come to Africa. And I'm talking as if I'm not South Africa, is not in Africa. There is an incredible sort of significance and importance on everything that they appreciate, that is excellence, progress, and that is like generational engaging and interacting. And of course, this wonderful conference center was full with over 600 people.
You see how I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful. I don't come to work with a green cut crease. I don't look like a clown when I go to work. I don't do too much. I'm very mindful while I'm at work. See how I look very presentable? The way I came to the interview is the way I go to the job. A lot of you girls go to the interview looking like Marge Simpson and go to the job looking like Patty and Selma. Not demure.
And that is online platform dictionary.com's word of the year, demure, which became a viral sensation when it took off on TikTok in August of this year. It was popularized by TikToker Jules LeBron, whose phrase, very demure, very mindful, was featured in a series of viral videos. Between January and September this year, Dictionary.com says that Demure saw a 1,200% increase in usage in digital web media and had 200 times more searches on Dictionary.com.
See how I'm opening the door for my wife? Very respectful, very cutesy, very demure.
I'm taking all of the pizza so that my little sister doesn't lose her insipidity tiny waist. Very thoughtful of me, very mindful, very cutesy, very demure.
That's it from me and the team. Don't forget to download the EWN app.
Eyewitness News, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi.